Welcome to Grow Overload, and I want to talk about some of Ubiquiti's products that they've been coming out with. I've been pretty impressed of where Ubiquiti's been able to go here lately, especially with a lot of the new software features and the hardware. They're releasing hardware and then also adding new features. A great thing, I think, for people there. Also, the whole add-on mechanism to get more features out of the system, where you get into an entry point and then you can add on more devices and then you will get more features. I think that they're attacking a problem that's out there in the right way so far. And we've all been there when the Unify OS was, well, a lot of us were there when the Unify OS was not the greatest, right? If you're on the version 1 OS and with the UDM Pros and just getting that up to 2 and then 3 and now 4, that was a long drawn out path. And so I've put and installed some of these UDM Pros. I have one. I have a lot of Ubiquiti equipment. I've done some stuff here on that, but some of this new hardware has been impressive, and it's something I'm looking more into as well. You know, people ask me, and I do network stuff. One of the great things is the remote management. I can help manage somebody that doesn't fully understand the network side of things, and you get a little bit better product, in my opinion, than just going sometimes off the shelf at, you know, a local, you know, electronics store or even just a department store. You get something a little bit better. You have options for more things in the future, and you kind of get into an ecosystem that you can take advantage of some of the other stuff that's on there. And let's jump over to some of the stuff. And we'll first start off with these WAN switches. These are really interesting devices. If they're going to put up here, there's the RJ45 WAN switch, and there's the this one's available in May, and they're $250, and this one's available now, SFP, and they have, you know, 10 gig output. They also have input from ISP here and output redundancy. So you can kind of have some of that redundancy here. It also does shadow mode. So this is, as it says here, WAN switching links to shadow mode, highly available unified gateways in a single ISP. Really kind of some cool stuff that they have here, as you can kind of take a look at it going through. Ubiquiti's kind of putting out some more. As you see, they have they're comparing this, right, the switching capacity in here and some of the tech specs that they have. But having something like this that they can offer, that's just your WAN switch that you can then use for your deployment, you know, this is here. Well, as I'm reading this note, use an additional USW WAN switch for deployment with multiple ISPs. So that's how you kind of do this multiple ISP thing. Ubiquiti is really coming out with a lot of different ideas, and or not just ideas, but a lot of different solutions for problems that people have. Now, I don't know how many, you know, small businesses are going to be like this. This is more getting into the enterprise side of things for the WAN side, but it's good that Ubiquiti's keeping the consumer side of this, because I think there's a lot of users out there that like the Ubiquiti stuff, and then bringing it also to some of the enterprise stuff. And if we go back here to this one, Pro XG, these new switches are really, really fun. So the Pro XG, you can see here, they have a whole line of the Pro XG lineup. They have the Pro XG aggregation, they have the Pro XG 8 PoE, and we'll kind of touch on some of these, but this is a 48 port layer 3 ether lightning is what they call it, where I think all the ports light up. PoE switch. So this is I have a 48 port switch at 2.5 gig Ubiquiti. It works great. I've never done the review on that, but I really, really like that switch overall. That's been a solid switch. Everything I throw at it. I've even got some U7 outdoors now with 2.5 gig. They connect to a meshed U7 outdoor. Works great. I have cameras on a remote shed, so that's how it kind of works and transmit the data back, and that has been rock solid. But getting back into the 48 port switch, right? You got the touch screen, and then you also have 16 2.5 gig ports, or multi-speed 2.5 gig PoE ports. Here it says 2.5 gig, 1 gig, 110. So you got 16 of those. Then you have 32 and also PoE++ on 10 gig port. So 10, 5, 2.5, 100. This looks like a pretty nice switch, I have to say. Would not, would like to upgrade this. I got everything kind of wired up for 10 gig in the house. If I were to ever get the switch, we could plug that over, and a lot of this should then just work. There's most of my machines right now are 2.5 gig. My main desktop, I need to get that up to 10 gig, and so that would actually help a lot. But then let's go back on these Pro XGs. The 24 port, right, is going to have 8 and then 16. So basically just the 48 port cut in half. Also, I forgot on the other one, it's got 25 gig SFP 28 ports on here as well. So that is, if you want 25 gig backbone, right, you'll be able to put that in there. Also redundant power backup, and so that is really cool that they have that stuff. They're, the power backup. I do not have that system at all. It'd be interesting. I run a little backup on it now, but with some of the Ubiquiti and some other stuff, I could maybe put that in there. I probably need a bigger rack at some point if I want to keep adding stuff. I have a 12U, and it's not that it's full of rack equipment, but I also have a desktop, a little miniature desktop in there, and so I do a few different things with that, and it's just being used up over time, right? And so at some point, probably need something there. They also got a Pro XG10, so if you just need the 10 multi-gig, 10 gig PoE+++, you have that as well. This is actually a great option if you want to then just upgrade those 10 gig devices that you may have. Let's say you got a whole bunch of Wi-Fi's there, or you have a remote switch that, so another switch that they would have that would be able to power this. They have some 10 gig PoE switches. This would be a great option for, so you can kind of power those all the way through. I think that is a nice use case there. It's a reasonable entry price at $700. So instead of spending 17 or 1800 or 2500, you can get in there for $700 and get going. Then they also have their aggregation, which 32, 25 gig SFP 28 ports. That's always I have no use for this. Personally, but there's other things and projects that I've looked at that they wouldn't necessarily need something this big, but they would probably like to have like a 16 ports or 8 to 16 just to do an aggregate there. That would be helpful for them as well. And then they got the Pro XG coming soon, the 8 port, which I could see for $500. I could see a lot of different people being like, you know what, this isn't a bad option for me. This is, something that I wouldn't mind having. You can put, your SFP plug in there. Let's see, they're comparing this to the Flex 10 gig to, let's see, all your ports are PoE++ on this, not PoE+++, but PoE++. You get the 10 gig 5 and on there. Let's see, it's 155 watt total addressable. The Pro 8 is 350, so you add another $150 to get to there. I'm just trying to go through this, but this is only 1 gig. This is all 10 gig. It has 2 SFP plus on there, and it's PoE++, and a lot more switching capacity as you would expect. So sort of the same features. You get some more features here with the layer 2, and I'm just trying to see. You have a total of 60 watts. So I wonder if this is external DC or AC 210 watts. I am, oh, so you have a power area of -5 degrees Celsius to 45 degrees Celsius, or 23 degrees to 113 degrees, something to keep track of. I was looking at this, can I keep it in a garage? I might have a use for an 8-port switch like this. I'm trying to decide on what I want to do for that. But this is coming out in May, something that you would have ability to use if that's something. I can see a usefulness of, you have UDM Pro, you're kind of used up there, you want to get some access to maybe some higher speeds, and you add this on instead of, like just like an 8-port gig switch, and that could be really useful. So they have some really cool stuff on the switching side. Also, they had, these adapters. They have a 10 gig adapter and stuff, but they put in, what is this here? Why is this page all over the place? They had the UDM. Oh yeah, this is a bridge, but they had the cameras here too. The U6 or the U6, the G6 Bullet, the G6 Turret, and the G6 Instant. They're getting, yeah, they're 170, 199, and 199. They're a little bit more, all 4K here, allow with the enhanced AI, and so this is kind of, putting in some of their more entry level, upgrading them to have more of the AI engine. I was thinking, I also watched a video on the AI port, which I thought was interesting, something else I'd like to try. So we'll see how that all goes through. These cameras are something that I've been impressed with. They put out there. They're still supporting the G4s, even some G3s, the AI, and the G5s. So the G6, I'm guessing, eventually is going to push out the G5s to a certain extent. And, they layer you in here so you can have that difference of entry points. So you have the instance, you can have, then add on the AI key, maybe the AI port, depending upon what you want. The AI key allows you for some searching and stuff like that in there. It does a pretty good job from what I've seen. Would like to have one. They're about, what, 680 bucks there. But the AI port is something where you can add on these older cameras that don't have all the AI enhancements. You can get those. So they have a lot, and I think that's around 200 bucks. They have a lot of options here. You buy into the ecosystem, you can add on, you get third-party cameras now in the Protect ecosystem. They have been starting to do a really good job of getting this stuff lined up, so whatever ecosystem you're going to be a start in, or um, well, into here with Ubiquiti, you can always add on, and it's not just you have to buy everything right away. I really like what they did with getting third-party cameras working. I think that was a huge benefit there. If you're in the Ubiquiti Protect system, you get access to those cameras too. Using the AI key, you can then have AI features on those cameras that work integrated with the Ubiquiti's Protect. Some of the great things here that Ubiquiti's been doing, and I've been impressed, right? Not every video I've done has been throwing some huge praise onto them. I have to say, lately though, with what they've been doing, I have I've been shocked because of where they were when I first, got in. I liked what they did, but some of the OS stuff that they had at the beginning gave me huge reservations on if I could continue using them. I was looking at other stuff at the time, maybe jumping into something else. Over the past couple of years, I've been using it, and what Ubiquiti's done is made me say, you know what, come buy more of my products, because we are going to be committed to them. We're going to enable more features, like the AI key has gotten to be able to support multiple cameras instead of just one camera. So there's stuff like that with, the AI cameras that are able to do that. Very impressed with what they've done. We're going over some of their products, and hopefully I can buy some of their more products soon. I like to get another solar setup with some more cameras on my kid's swing set. Just allows my wife and I to watch the kids as they're outside playing in the yard, and it gets the other object of getting Wi-Fi more further down my property with each setup I have. So let me know what your thoughts are on the Ubiquiti lineup, where they've going. What do you think of these switches that are coming out? And leave that in the comments below, because so far I've been really impressed, and I'd like to know what your thoughts are as well. Thank you so much for watching Gray Overload and help this channel grow. I really do appreciate it. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, hit the bell icon, watch any of my videos. That really, really does help out the channel. Till next time, God bless.